The lake was as still as glass, mirroring the pale crescent moon hanging low in the sky. I had been fishing here for years, but tonight felt different. It was my first time venturing out alone for a night fishing trip, a tradition that my father and I had shared every summer since I could hold a rod. He had passed away last winter, and tonight was supposed to be a tribute to him, a way to feel close to him again. I sat on the rickety wooden dock, my feet dangling above the dark water. The only sounds were the gentle lapping of the lake against the shore and the occasional rustle of leaves in the breeze. I cast my line into the water, watching the ripples fan out in the moonlight. The silence was almost as soothing, but there was an edge to it, a tension that I couldn't quite shake. Time passed slowly. I checked my watch. Nearly midnight. I hadn't caught a thing. I remembered my father's words. Patience is the key to a good catch. I sighed, trying to calm my growing unease. I cast my line again and settled back, staring at the stars. A sudden splash broke the silence. I jerked upright, scanning the water. Nothing. Just the still, dark expanse stretching out before me. I chuckled nervously, convincing myself it was a fish, or maybe a frog. I cast my line once more, the tension in my chest slowly unwinding. Minutes later, I felt a tug on my line. My heart leapt with excitement. I stood up, gripping the rod tightly. The pull was strong, stronger than any fish I'd ever caught. I began to reel it in, the line cutting through the water with a sharp hiss. Whatever was on the other end was fighting hard. As I strained against the weight, I noticed the water around my line churning violently. The moonlight caught a glimpse of something dark and large just beneath the surface. My mind raced. What kind of fish was this? It had to be enormous. Suddenly, the rod was nearly wrenched from my hands. I stumbled, barely managing to keep my grip. The thing on the other end of the line gave a powerful jerk, pulling me towards the edge of the dock. I planted my feet, trying to resist, but the force was too strong. With a final tremendous pull, I was yanked off the dock and plunged into the icy water. The shock of the cold took my breath away. I thrashed wildly, trying to find the surface, but something was pulling me down. My hands scrambled to free myself from the line, but it was tangled around my wrist, dragging me deeper. Panic set in. I kicked and clawed, my lungs burning for air. Just as I thought I would pass out, the pulling stopped. I floated, disoriented, and managed to break the surface, gulping in sweet, precious air. I looked around frantically, expecting to see the dock, but I was far from shore, in the middle of the lake. My rod was gone, lost to the depths. Treading water, I scanned my surroundings. The lake was eerily calm again, the surface unbroken. I started swimming towards the shore, my limbs heavy and numb from the cold. The moonlight barely illuminated the way, casting long, sinister shadows over the water. Halfway to the shore, I felt it again. A tug, gentle at first, then stronger. I looked down, and my blood ran cold. Something dark and serpentine was wrapped around my leg, pulling me back. I kicked at it, but my foot went right through, as if it were made of smoke. The more I struggled, the tighter it held. I screamed, but the sound was swallowed by the night. Desperation set in. I clawed at the water, trying to break free, but it was no use. The thing was pulling me under again. I felt its cold grip around my ankle, then my calf, creeping higher with each passing second. My head went under, and the world turned to a murky blur. I fought with everything I had, but my strength was waning. The dark shape enveloped me, pulling me deeper into the abyss. My lungs screamed for air, my vision blurred. In my final moments of consciousness, I saw something, glowing eyes staring at me from the darkness, filled with a malevolent hunger. Then, everything went black. I don't know how long I was out. When I awoke, I was lying on the shore, soaked and shivering. The first light of dawn was breaking over the horizon. I coughed, spitting out water, and looked around in a daze. The lake was calm, the dock in the distance looking as innocent as ever. I scrambled to my feet, half expecting the creature to rise from the water and drag me back. But there was nothing, just the still, silent lake. I stumbled back to my car, my mind racing. What had happened? Had I imagined it all? But the bruises on my leg, the burns from the fishing line still etched into my wrist, told me it was real. Too real. I never went back to that lake. I never fished again. I tried to move on, to forget. But the memories haunted me. In the dead of night, I could still feel the cold grip around my leg, see those glowing eyes in the darkness. Sometimes I dream of the lake. In my dreams, I'm back on that dock, casting my line into the water. And every time, just before I wake up, I hear it. A splash, a tug, and then those eyes, watching, waiting. And I know deep down that it's still out there, lurking in the depths, waiting for its next catch.